Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Looking to halt a Marinus Link onslaught in Parliament, Guy Barnett will make a ministerial statement about the new funding arrangements when the House returns tomorrow. The opposition wants more information about the power cable project and how it will affect household bills.
A hub to the southeast, Sorell is a critical emergency response base.
You've got a growing demographic out this way and having this footprint here enables us to service such a large part of the community. 3
new SES vehicles will aid call-outs to vehicle crashes, floods, fires and more.
So we've got a new heavy rescue vehicle, a light rescue vehicle and a storm trailer, and that's meaning that our SES volunteers are able to get right around the southeast to help people when they need it most.
But a rescue package from the federal government will dominate Parliament's return this week. Guy Barnett is expected to give a detailed ministerial statement on the new Marinus Link funding arrangements tomorrow.
This is a really good deal for Tasmania and we'll continue to work closely with the federal government.
With scepticism across the aisle and on the crossbench, he'll have some convincing to do.
It isn't clear to us how Marinus is going to save Tasmanian customers money on their power bills. The Minister has said that, but it's not clear what evidence he's relying upon to give an answer like that.
The Parliament will be made to wait to see an interim report from racing steward Ray Murray into the Tasmanian harness industry and allegations of race fixing and animal cruelty. There's still no timeline to release it publicly and no commitment to do so in full.
We'll consider his report, provide an interim response and also release the outcomes to the public.
Well, that would be rubbish and that wouldn't satisfy anybody. Clearly the people who have made complaints took great risks in doing so.
Keeping reports into itself under wraps, the new normal. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
An inquest into the death of a Huon Valley man who was struck by his former partner's car has been postponed. Jari Wise's family has been fighting for answers ever since he was killed in Huonville in 2020. The woman behind the will, Melissa Oates, served 8 months in jail for dangerous driving, but was not held legally responsible for the 26-year-old's death. In an extraordinary move, the Attorney-General intervened in the case earlier this year, ordering a coronial investigation. That hearing was scheduled to begin today, but delayed due to unforeseen circumstances, according to the Department of Justice. Jari's mother has called it a kick in the guts and doesn't believe an inquest will go ahead until next year. More tourists are expected to flock to the Apple Isle now the winter lull is behind us. New data shows 62% of available rooms across the state were full during July, while those numbers gradually increased in August. Some of Tassie's most secluded areas were impacted the most during the colder months. The Tasmanian Hospitality Association's calling for more tourism initiatives to encourage mainlanders to our state. Tasmanians navigating bus transport now have the chance to voice their frustrations. Labor has launched an online petition calling on the government to reverse Metro's cancellations and improve conditions for staff and passengers.
It's a bus network advocates say is being driven into the ground.
Suburbs like Old Beach are particularly suffering. There's been a number of express services that have been cut.
They have a stigma that they're not able to contribute to our society, and they're not being able to get to work. They're not being given the fair go.
And they're not alone. The fallout continuing from Metro Tasmania's axing of hundreds of routes from its schedule.
Record low unemployment has led to a shortage of bus drivers, just as we've seen in a range of other important occupations across our economy.
They need to look after their employees more. Basically give them a right to even get out of the seat and go to the toilet.
Labor now steering a petition to reverse the cuts and address recruitment and retention issues as a matter of urgency.
We're also calling on the government to come good on its commitment to employ transit officers with real powers to curb antisocial behaviour.
I've been assaulted, I've been spat on, I've had people were threatening my other passengers.
However, the state government says it's committed to solving the problem.
We'll continue to work with Metro so that it can deliver those important services.
Labor intends to table the petition in Parliament early next year, leaving Tasmanians plenty of time to decide whether they're on board. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Metro has announced the resumption of 3 bus routes to Gagebrook. The company says there have been no further instances of rock throwing since Friday, but it will continue to monitor the situation. Tasmania's newest aged care and hospitality workers are preparing to enter the sector. 13 graduates are now job ready after successfully completing a 26-week training program, learning a range of workplace skills. The Migrant Resource Centre in Northern Tasmania hopes the participants can help respond to labour shortages.
The aged care is crying out for a lot of workers in many areas, and particularly in a regional location like Launceston. It's critically important that we respond.
The placement and the things that we learn in the class will be helpful, all about work health safety.
Program facilitators say the next step is helping graduates find employment. A new scientific collaboration has kicked off in Hobart, focusing on brain cancer research. Oncologists, medical students and an interstate cancer centre are putting their heads together in the hopes of finding a cure.
For Hella Foss, most of her adult life has been riddled with cancer. Doctors first found a brain tumour when she was just 19, then again at 21 and 22.
I've just finished 33 rounds of radiation and I've done 2 rounds of chemo, but I was unable to continue with chemo because it made me so sick. Yeah, that's why research like this is great, because there needs to be alternative options.
The Royal Hobart Hospital and the Menzies Institute for Medical Research have joined forces, developing a new brain cancer research program in the hopes of being able to one day provide some good news to people like Hella.
Looking at genetics and cause of disease, but then ultimately hoping to take that to the clinic with new treatments.
While providing training to the next generation of researchers at the same time, given there are around 30 high-grade and malignant brain tumours diagnosed in Tasmania every year.
So the very worst of the brain cancers, the glioblastomas, without treatment, the median survival is measured in about 6 months.
It's prompted groups like the Brain Cancer Centre to join the fight.
So being able to contribute to Tasmanian research connects us to some of the best minds in the country and furthermore connects us to some of the best minds internationally.
Researchers will work with several families who have different types of cancer, tracking genetic changes in hopes of one day unlocking the clues to a cure. While much of the research comes down to funding, with some supplied through the iconic Point to Pinnacle event held in November.
If we have more resources and more talent, we'll create new discoveries that take us forward.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
A popular charity event is gearing up to cycle into its 21st year. Sally's Ride will tackle a new location and new routes this year, introducing a 20-kilometre ride which hopes to entice more people to jump on their bikes.
So for people that are less confident to ride on busy roads, we're providing an opportunity for people to have an enjoyable ride. You don't need to be super skilled at cycling.
The annual challenge is all about supporting youth mental health awareness and suicide prevention.
There is mounting evidence that by intervening at a very young age, it is quite possible that we can prevent mental illness from occurring.
Entries for the November 26 ride are now open. The Big Tassie Devil at Mole Creek tops a wish list of roadside big thing attractions Australians want to visit. The results are in from an Australia Post survey, part of a collectibles launch of stamps and coins celebrating tourist spots.
There are perhaps over 1,000 big things in Australia. Most people, myself included, probably assumed there were only 100, 200 at most.
The survey showed people would also like to see a big Tassie tiger built in the state.
The TSL's undisputed champion has been crowned, with the group's Player of the Year votes locked in after the final round of the season. Jake Hines best on ground for Launceston in the Blues win over Glenorchy. Clarence's Sam Green adding 3 more to his tally. And Jack Event locking in the top votes for North Launceston's win against North Hobart. And with that, the 2023 leaderboard has been confirmed. Sam Siggins holding on to his crown for another year with 24 votes. He's 3 clear of runner-up Ben Simpson. Jack Tompkinson rounding out the top 3, followed by Lockie Clifford, Alex Lee and Baxter Norton. Well, he wasn't always out in front this year, but Sam Siggins powered ahead to join an exclusive club. For a second year in a row, he's the toast of the town.
I feel really honoured and grateful to win the award again.
Sam Siggins rising to the top after another stellar season, becoming just the second player to retain the honour.
Obviously it's not something you set out to do at the start of the year, but if you can play some consistent footy and with the year we've probably had, it's nice to get some reward out of it.
The Lauderdale Utilities standout year propelling him up the leaderboard.
He's a star, Sammy Siggins.
The former Adelaide Crow polled in 11 matches, headlined by 6 top-scoring performances.
Sam Siggins, an incredibly deserved winner. Another fantastic season from him where he's broken a number of records individually.
His Player of the Year accolade softening the blow after Lauderdale failed to make finals.
Obviously not playing finals this year is really frustrating, but we're also aware of where we're at as a list and what we need to do moving forward.
His Cripps Appliance pack and a $1,000 cheque, hoping to make the end of season celebrations a little sweeter.
I'll repay the favour again this year, so I get a couple of kegs for Silly Sunday.
Taking this giant cheque straight to the bank. White ball specialist Chris Jordan will join the Hobart Hurricanes as the side's top selection in last night's BBL International Player Draft. The 34-year-old averages 27 with the ball in T20 cricket, with hopes he can contribute elsewhere too.
His batting the last couple of years has really pushed on. He could be a number 6 or 7 batter for us. He's absolute jet in the field. He's as good as anyone going around world cricket.
The women's team had a need for speed too, selecting South African fast bowler.
I think she really complements our list really nicely. A new ball bowler, obviously got some good pace and some bounce, and looking forward to captaining her and setting some aggressive fields.
The WBBL will start next month, while the men wait until December. To soccer now, and Taroona is enjoying its late season resurgence after a thrilling comeback against second place Devonport Strikers over the weekend. Down 3-1 at half-time, the team fought back to clinch a 3-all draw.
We worked really hard this year. You probably can't find another team in the WSL that's had the massive improvements like us, from losing 9-0 to drawing with some of the top teams.
Launceston United remains squarely at the bottom of the men's ladder, failing to secure a win this season, drawing with crosstown rivals Launceston City. United Will Spicer fumbled a chance to break the deadlock in the dying minutes of the game.
I think in the ball is 10 cents little more down, he put in. Definitely I put my hands in the fire, he put in.
They'll get one last chance to get a win on the board when they face Kingborough this weekend.
Good evening. Hobart, Campania and Bushy Park all on our top of 22 today. Launceston reached 20, a tad cooler for Devonport and Burnie. Ouse did very well to recover from our low of -3 to reach 21. Strawn 20, Flinders Island 19, Friendly Beaches 18, King Island and Smithton 17 degrees, St Helens 16 and Lyawini 11. Some cloud did gather over the northwest today, bringing a few showers, 6 millimetres in fact, to Luncheon Hill around afternoon tea time. And of course more rain falling over the north and west at the moment. Cloud linked to a cold front pushes from our north over Victoria, the next frontal band over the Bight. We will be in between 2 cold fronts tomorrow, a low and front also there over the Southern Ocean further west. The winds will shift west-southwest after the northwesterlies will reach 30 knots in the west and stronger over northern waters. A gale warning has been issued for waters between the northern tip of Flinders Island to St Helens Point. A strong wind warning from Low Rocky Point up to Flinders Island. Tuesday in Hobart, partly cloudy and 16, partly cloudy for Adventure Bay, but then we've got showers everywhere else. Tarraleah, 0 overnight to a top of 12, 15 for Launceston with a shower, Devonport 13, 14 for Bridport, shower possibly. Burnie, a shower or 2, 13, 13 also for Strawn and Marrawar, a windy day in the west. And to the east, 16 for St Helens and Swansea, both expecting a shower or 2, showers easing from Whitemark on Flinders Island. On Wednesday, fine for the south and east, a shower over the west and north. Showers extending statewide during Thursday with the winds tending southwesterly. And on Friday, look out, snow to 300 metres, showers statewide and temperatures just getting into double figures. Showers and 21 in Perth, 16 and showery over Adelaide, partly cloudy, and 15 in Melbourne, a sunny 23 for Sydney, 30 in Brisbane and partly cloudy. And cloudy over Hobart, 15 at the moment. Drizzly in the north, 12 in Launceston and currently 12 in Devonport. And after a pretty nice weekend and also a good start to the day today, Kim, in my scientific opinion, I think the next couple of days are going to be a bit messy.
Messy is a good word for it. Thank you very much, Murph. That is all we have time for tonight. We'll catch you again tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Good night.